The SpaceX guy has been put in charge of expediting the delivery of the new Air Force One.
Meanwhile, they are renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of SpaceX debris.
Welcome to GayTalk 2.0, the ultimate podcast for your dose of dish.
That is definitely as smooth as our opener's ever going to get. Ladies and gents, welcome back to another episode of GayTalk 2.0, an LGBT podcast. We're streaming live on our YouTube channel for all of our Patreon supporters on the day of actually recording the show. My name is Tom, and I'm your host, and as always, I'm in the studio with my amazing co-host taking pictures over here.
Hey, y'all, Nick or Trish.
And
J-Bear, a.k.a. your boyfriend's boyfriend.
And welcome you all to another exciting episode. It's been a week since we last recorded, and as with anything else that happens at a time where we have dump in office, it feels like a lifetime. So much shit happening all at once, and it's just fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into all that craziness, quick round table for my folks. Let's start with you, Jay. How are you, my darling?
Oh, it's been a shit show.
Politically and personally.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So it's been nuts. Well, as I was telling you guys earlier, my truck broke down.
Apparently something that clamps his balls is not working
my
right.
balls. I wish I would figure that one out quicker. Yeah. So my caliper froze. My brakes are shot on
So
my
for
truck, and
us gay people that
gay
are not
people.
bisexual,
It's the thing that does the thing.
Yeah. So the mechanism that causes the brakes to stop your vehicle basically froze on the lock position on one of the rear tires.
So there's this thing where the brake pads go into
The caliper, yes.
the caliper that pushes against your
Rotors,
rotor,
yeah.
and then that slows the vehicle down.
Correct.
Okay.
So it froze on the stop position in one of the rear.
You know
brakes.
us queers, we don't want to dirty our
Yeah.
nails or break a nail or anything. But anyway,
Yep. So that happened, and then so I figured, I'll take it apart, order the parts, yada yada. It takes a few days to get them. So I have my other truck, the FJ, and I said, I have the spare truck, and go to jump on it, and doesn't start. So I jump started, pull the pack off, and battery has absolutely no charge. It won't stay on. So
wasn't that the original battery that came with the car?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you've had the FJ how long?
Since 2011. So
Wow.
Right. So
it lasted longer than it should have. Even the girl at AutoZone was like, really?
it's like 13 years, 14 years.
Hey, it lasted well. It was a good battery, I guess. But
No,
yeah,
you got it in 2012.
2011. Well, no.
No, it was 2012. You got it in
2012,
August of
yeah,
2012. I
2012.
got mine in September.
Yeah. I got mine like a week or two before you. Yeah.
That was the
year of your FJ is
It's
at 2011.
2011, correct. But yeah, so, that was dead. So I had to basically connect the battery pack to the battery and drive to AutoZone with the pack connected.
How does
So I
that?
could change the battery out.
Oh
it
my
was,
God.
yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, I had to rig it and make it happen. And, that took place. And then Monday night into Tuesday morning, my refrigerator decided to spring a leak.
That's lovely.
And Tuesday morning, I walked into 2 inches of water in my kitchen floor. So.
Now let me ask you: do you have like LPV or is it actual hardwood floors?
No, thank God. The previous owners ripped up the wood floors. So they had this crappy vinyl flooring, and I replaced it with the plank flooring,
Right.
which is waterproof and yada, yada. But still,
It's a lot
it
of
was
water.
enough water where, I accumulate. I mean, I guess I did a good job because
You sucked it all up.
yeah.
See, that's what happens
but
when
it
you
was-
hang around with full gay people.
Full gay people.
You learn how to suck things up really good.
But yeah, it's been a shit show. So I was gonna call out of work. Well, I was gonna work from home. And then I realized I had CPR training scheduled for that morning.
Yeah, you had to go,
And-
do some mouth to mouth.
So yeah, so it
It's
was
the
like-
mouth, Jay, okay, not the penis.
and hey, it depends. Depends on which orifice needs the air. See? I've been around town too long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay. And here's my phone. Sorry.
That's okay. So wow, that's quite an eventful week.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a week. It's been a long month this week.
Why are you touching your screen like it's
And
His phone is
my
up
phone
there.
is here. I'm putting it on.
I was like
D&D. Yeah.
his
That's not an up to date PC. Your
his
dinosaur.
number 2 like pencil is touchscreen. Stop it. I was like, Apple, what happened to mine?
Yeah. She's
What-
like, how did you manage that?
I was getting
With that
ready to get
dinosaur of a
jealous.
computer.
Yeah, I know. No, that's quite
Yeah,
eventful. That's a
yeah,
lot
it's
to happen all in
yeah.
a week.
Yeah, all in the span of 3 days.
That's
so
a
it's
lot.
it's been
That's
yeah.
not
it's
only
been a
that. Not only is it a lot, it's also expensive. I
It,
mean, how much does one of those? What are they called? Calipers.
Yeah,
cost?
you're looking at about $100 a piece.
Ooh, so that's $200. If you have to replace one, you might as well do the other side.
Yeah, got to do both. The battery was $200, so,
So for those of
I'm
you who-
already $400 in the hole.
for those of you who don't know, I took auto mechanics in high school.
Oh,
It
really?
was one of my electives.
Lucky.
But there
Well,
was
I-
a th-
so
there was
did I, but-
there was a reason why I took auto mechanics because it had a bay door, and the teacher used to let us smoke outside the bay door.
Oh yeah, you've mentioned that before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was the only reason
yeah.
why.
I'm glad I'm somewhat handy, and I whatever I don't understand,
I'm practically abreast.
yeah.
Wow.
Well, we've heard. No, let me stop.
Well,
But yeah,
The shoe
but
fits.
luckily I'm a little handy, so I'm able to do most of this work myself. It's just I don't have time during the week, so
right.
the truck's sitting up on a jack stand in the driveway until I get around to it. And luckily, I was able to rig the truck so I could get out and get a new battery installed.
Right.
So
And also make it to the show.
and make
do
it to
all
the
that good
show,
stuff.
yeah, and get to work and all that other good stuff.
Well, I hope things go better for you this week.
Let's see.
mean-
I guess all the lines are aligned, all the planets are aligned in not my favor.
They literally were like 2 weeks ago. Like not all of them, but most of them were on the opposite side
Yeah.
where we could see them all through the sky.
I don't know. What did I
But
say? What's in retrograde again?
Mars?
Mars is in retrograde? Or
What does that even mean?
I have no fucking
We
clue.
talked about this when we had what's his name, Joe, on the show.
Yeah,
Joe Rapp.
Well,
yeah,
we
but-
talked about what was in retrograde at the time.
Yeah,
Right.
but
And because he named his book, actually, somewhere around here, it's up there, on the other side of the retrograde or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's actually back in town. He actually reached out, said, "Hey, want to come out and hang out with you guys?" Which I thought, okay, sure, fine, come do it. We'll be here. Yeah, it's the black one. At the end of the retrograde. Are you Googling it?
Of course I am.
Well, what is that?
I'm looking I'm looking to see what's in retrograde right now.
yeah.
Oh, probably
shit.
something you align with because you are in a mood today.
Probably. I've been off.
Off in what sense? Oh, by the way, we Nick and I, our sinuses are just going bananas. I don't know about you.
I don't even want to jinx myself. I should be worse than you guys right now.
It is freaking horrible, and it's like
Knock
you-
on
you know,
simulated wood.
while you look up what's in retrograde, I'm excited because we sprung forward, right, and so. We lost an hour of sleep, but we're gaining a lot more daylight now that our days are getting longer. And for me, that's life. I
Yeah.
love being out on the patio and having friends over and barbecuing and grilling and doing all that stuff. And so for me, I'm excited, right? But with that comes spring, and with spring comes all this congestion. At least for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I started doing what I normally do when I get like this. So, one of the best things that you can do is buy cheap pillow covers, right? From, I don't know, dollar store or whatever, and change out your pillowcases every day. So that because what happens is, if you have it on your hair and you put it on your pillow, and then you go and you put your face on
I
that
like
pillow.
to see myself on the pillow.
Yeah.
Well, that has happened.
Trish lets her own pollen off.
She sure does. So, it really helps. And of course, like you get some sort of semblance of like 55, almost 60-degree weather, and your instinct is immediately to open all the windows. Don't do that.
No, you got to give it a
Turn
couple
on a
weeks.
fan, do something, because let me tell you, I'm suffering for it right now. And she is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
so
not
how?
as bad as you though right now.
Oh, I know. I'm like stuffy. It's horrible. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine. Yeah.
All is well in the land of Oz?
Yeah. I went away this weekend with our good friend Paul and his boyfriend, and
Nice.
spent some time with his nephews and family. We had a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Where did you guys go?
We just went to his sister's house and ate, drank, played games.
Oh, so you went to New York, but you went to New York to like the
Upstate New York, yeah.
upstate.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really.
Not really upstate, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
Well, if it's not the city, it's considered upstate to
kind
New
of.
Yorkers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anything out
He
of
was
the
in
five
Dutch.
boroughs
He was
is
in
upstate.
Dutchess County.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not much else to report, honestly. I mean, I'm just like, I got a lot going on at work.
I
A
know.
lot going
you
on at the
have
center.
you have gala coming up.
Yeah, I don't want
Right.
to talk about it.
Again? Shit, that was quick.
Yeah, I mean, gala happens every June. It was the second weekend in June.
First weekend this year, second weekend next year.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like clockwork, man. This man is like a one man, like
yeah.
pounding machine.
I just got it's like, honestly, fundraising is a rat race. It's just constant. It's
Yeah.
just like a circle of life that is detrimental to life.
Well, I can tell you one thing though. At the rate that you're going, you're going to need a whole new suit.
I fucking know.
It's either that or you're going to have to go to the tailor and be like, take this shit in. Like, hem this shit out of my jackets,
Well,
my pants, and just leave it there just in case.
I don't want to lose too much more weight, so.
Yeah, no, but you look good. You look good.
Mm.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe I'll get some interest now.
It's not like you didn't have interest before. It's just
But it's about confidence too,
Right.
right? It's about like feeling confident in myself, like to take my clothing off.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get like that sometimes, but not often. I have what I have.
Not often
Yeah.
at all.
A glory hole.
A lot more than that.
So what's in retrograde right now is Venus.
Venus.
The
Venus.
penis is in retrograde because it's fucking me.
Through April 12th.
Yeah.
And basically what this means is it's time to reevaluate relationships, values, and priorities.
Uh-huh.
It could also be a time to reflect on the past and heal old wounds. It could also be a time to discover new insights and relationships. And it could be a time to reassess values around love and money.
Nice. Okay. Well, we've got our work cut out for us.
Avoid making big decisions during this time, especially around love, money, relationships, or beauty.
Well, it's not much I need to decide on beauty. It is what it is. Money, love, on the other hand, I don't know. It's kind of tough.
Well, trust your intuition.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this like a horoscope type of thing?
No, this is just Google.
Oh, well, Google, it works.
Google, I don't know. Google's been misinforming people for a while.
For a long time, girl. Long time.
Mhm.
Well, I'll take a moment to send a big thank you to Maureen Crick Owen. We've had her on the show before. She came to talk about, some of the great work that she's doing down in Sandy Hook, with suicide prevention, awareness, etc. She took the time to send in a beautiful little note. As I've been talking over the past 2 weeks, my mother was diagnosed with cancer recently. And she went through her first chemotherapy, 21 days ago. Tomorrow's her second. And so I just wanted to thank you for taking time out of your day to send that beautiful note. It was wonderful to see it in my mailbox, open it up and read it. It's very nice. And Mom is optimistic. She's hanging in there. She's being a trooper. Her hair started falling off. She freaked out a little bit, called me. She was, in tears. And then we went and got her a wig, and now she thinks she is like like her shit don't stink. And I was like, you better work, girl. I love your energy. I love your positivity, because that's like half the battle. So
Positivity. It's how you
Yeah.
go about it. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen both ends. I've seen both ends personally, where people, oh, it's a death sentence, and they
Right.
carry it that way, and unfortunately, it becomes so. And I've seen people where they're like, "Fuck it, we're gonna make the best of this," and for the most part, they get out of it, and I
Right.
think that way of thinking, that positivity,
Yeah.
I think it has. I would say I dare to say 50% of that is positivity, and
Right.
how do you carry? How do you
Because
go about
I
it?
think that also, it translates into how the body reacts
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
how what
absolutely.
you're going through.
Absolutely.
But she's badass.
Yeah.
She's taking it in stride and trying to stay positive, do things. She went to her favorite, thing. Yes, she went to bingo yesterday. She's like,
Love
I'm losing
that.
my hair. I'm going to bingo. And then
Yeah,
she
With her
calls
wig.
me
Oh, yeah,
with her
that
wig.
ain't
She
gonna
walked
stop
in.
her
She walked in
ass.
sashaying with her wig, like
She
"Bitches,
sure
I'm
did.
back."
She was like, oh. I was like, you better work. And but yeah, tomorrow she'll have her second treatment, and then 21 days from now she'll have her third. At which point they will do another CT scan and see if the cancer has shrunk, and then they'll consider doing surgery to remove a lot of her reproductive organs.
Yeah.
Which, in her words, she says, don't need them. Yank them out. Have a 50-year-old big baby sitting on my sofa. I don't need another one. I was like, you better work, girl. So, and the only thing for me is the fact that it's been so hard for me trying to navigate the whole medical system.
Oh.
Right. So I tried, because obviously I'm working and I applied for FMLA. That's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Jumping through hoops. It's not that difficult doing it through your job, where you get protection for, having to miss work or whatever to take care of a parent.
Well, that's all that funding's going to be cut anyway.
But going through the state of Connecticut, in case you miss out on pay, you can actually submit to get paid if you don't have any PTO or whatever. That's a nightmare. I was like, it's one of the worst experiences I've ever had dealing with anybody. And
Well, you're talking to state. Their red tape is their first name.
yeah, I was like,
Well, here in Connecticut, it's blue tape, but
Yeah,
let's be clear.
It's a pain in the ass. Period. It's
Right.
just a pain in the ass. The
And-
process isn't easy, and then to boot, they.
Yeah.
and then the other flip side of that is the fact that then I tried saying, okay, well, you know what? Maybe I should see if I can get her an aide, right? Someone that can come to the house and help her out whenever she needs it, a couple of hours a day. And so I started calling around to the agencies and started talking to people and saying, hey, what do I have to do here? Who do I have to call? Whatever. She ended up getting approved, but oh my God, even that was a process itself. So now she has someone that goes and sees her 4 hours a day. They spend, there with her. We're very fortunate that it's someone that we know. So she's familiar with this person.
That's awesome.
And that way, she doesn't have to feel like at odds or uncomfortable in her own space, which was, pretty good. Sorry. But yeah, no, it's the red tape and jumping through hoops like a circus poodle on fire is just unacceptable when someone is going through all that.
Well, yeah.
It's crazy.
Again, medical system making decisions. Well, not the medical system. The insurance
Right.
companies making decisions based on documentation they're reading.
Right.
They're not even, it sucks.
And if it's any indication of, what this current administration is trying to do to gut, services.
Oh, they
the
canceled. They shut down the Department of Education today.
Yeah.
They haven't done it yet.
No, they
Yeah,
did
but
today.
They did today. They were letting go of 1,800 employees, half of the staff today.
That is insane.
Mhm. And here I am sitting like, okay, this is smart. I am so concerned about transgender athletes. I'm so concerned about them playing with my daughter or my son. But let's shut down the entire Department of Education because that's going to help my kids.
Right. Because you're not going to have any funding for any programs, for any books, for, all the important things. A lot of people don't realize that the largest, subset of schools that take in individuals with disabilities are public schools. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Private and parochial schools typically don't do that unless their parents are willing to pay up the wazoo.
Well, the problem too is if they really want to bring all of this back to the states to support their departments of education at the state level, the red states are going to suffer the most.
Oh, of course,
because you look at the economy right in blue states, and the blue states are providing more to the federal government than any other. Than the red states here, right? So they're generating more internal revenue,
right,
and can actually potentially support programs that the federal government doesn't want to federally fund anymore.
Right.
However, that would be a huge burden for the states, but the red states can't do that.
Right,
Maybe some of them, but not all of them.
Yeah, I think two states come to mind that are red states that I think could probably support that type of burden, and that's Florida and Texas. That's it. Aside from that, every other state, I mean, New York City has more population in the 5 boroughs than freaking what's North Dakota. The entire population of the state of North Dakota and South Dakota put together.
Yeah, well.
And so when you think about
it's cold up there,
all the stuff, the farmers that are suffering now, it is insane. It is insane to see, these tariffs and these tariff wars now between Canada, the U.S., and the rest of the world. And it's like
all of our allies are like literally ganging up against us.
They're like, what the fuck? And, that's only going to make things more expensive for us. And we were saying this even before the election. It's a tax on the American people.
Mm-hmm. They're calling the recession that we're facing, because we are facing one, the Trump session or the Trump recession or something.
Yeah,
like
Trump session.
No president in history has ever had a recession named after them.
Yeah.
But it's Biden's fault.
Of course, and her emails.
Her fucking emails.
Her emails, yeah. Here we are giving, Elon Musk access to private information.
Air Force One rides with his mom and his human shield.
Ask, why is it necessary after 4 years to build a whole new fucking plane?
Because maybe he wants gold curtains.
Like, where do the other planes go?
They probably get reused, sold and reused or refurbished and put back into service.
Like, because that's the smartest use of money.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We pay the fucking guy, what, $8 million a year?
Yeah, we're bleeding, hemorrhaging money. Our economy's hemorrhaging money.
This guy's an unelected official using Air Force One for personal travel at $170,000 a pop.
Yeah, with his personal shield.
A.k.a. his child.
Right.
and parading his mom.
What's the child's name? And it's so sad that,
It is, but I mean, Look at the way he walks around with the kids.
XC Pi 225 3650.
I don't know what
to the nearest square. Yeah. I don't know. I can't with him. Have you actually taken the time to look up his children's names?
No, I have no urge.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah, the little kid has a weird name.
Yeah, it's a formula.
Yeah,
all right, let's see.
I'm all for unique names, but I don't know. What's the next one going to be? Test
Vivian, Tau, Nevada, Kai, Saxon, Griffin, Damien. I'm sure there are more.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one with
X. Oh yeah, no, XCI X.
To the nearest power times 5, 6, 7, 25, 32 divided by 4.
Well, anyway, in lighter news,
EMC
SpaceX is taking over, Air Force One. So,
yes, for the next
fingers
debris
crossed.
storm. No.
So here's the other thing. So is it Skylink that he owns? Yeah. So Skylink, right? It's a private company. He has his satellites in space, and
didn't Canada just stop the contract with Skylink?
Yeah,
I think so. But here's the thing. So Apple and Google have
Who's-
contracts with Musk to use Skylink when you're in places where you can't actually get a signal to be able to send text messages in case of an emergency or whatever. So this was also the same service that Ukraine was using at the height of the war, right? Because things have slowed down a little bit, and I have a feeling they're going to ramp right back up. And he threatened Ukraine with saying, you know what, this is mine. I can shut it down
Yeah, whenever
at
I
will,
want. Yeah, I will.
whenever I want, because it's mine. And so now the U.S. government is thinking about incorporating Skylink to connect it to the FAA.
Mm.
So in a sense, we're giving this billionaire access to our airspace, right? So can you imagine how that goes if he can threaten Ukraine and saying, hey, it's mine. I can shut it down whenever I want. What the fuck do you think is going to happen when they're at odds? Because it's going to happen. Because, you know, Trump,
Yeah.
he's at odds with everybody at some point in time. He loves you, and then you're dead to him. And that happens, and Musk just turns around and says, well, fuck you, airspace, and I'm going to shut it down because it's mine.
Well, given his track record with SpaceX, I don't think he should be involved in anything regarding the FAA.
Anything federal.
No.
You know, and then, you know, like they're putting tariffs on Tesla cars in Canada
And Europe.
and Europe.
Yeah, I think Europe banned the trucks because they're overweight for the roads.
Right.
Those trucks are over 7,000 pounds.
That is insane. And you know, they touted that supposedly they were waterproof or they float.
Yeah.
One of them sank
Yeah.
trying
Some guy
to
trying
put
to put his jet ski
I
in
left
the
the
water.
window down.
Yeah.
fucking idiots. And you know, it's like, to me, it's just like, I turn on the TV every day and I'm like, we have to be punked.
Well,
Like somebody's punking us every day.
So I just don't understand how people are still like behind all this shit. I mean, even the spectacle of the like Tesla showroom on the White House lawn, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like honestly,
Yeah.
your stock is crashing, so you ask your butt buddy to give you a platform to promote your fucking cars.
Yeah.
Like-
he literally asked the first lady to promote his cars. So he went on X or Truth Social. You know, the first lady went on Truth Social and said, you know, oh yeah, we're going to invest in Teslas and blah, 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 blah. I was like, this is the same guy that during the primaries and, you know, leading up to the election was saying that, you know, yeah, renewable energy is not the thing. It's gas and fossil fuels and we're drill, baby. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. And now you're all about Tesla
Yeah.
and electric cars and, you know, and I start thinking to myself, because I've, you know, encountered in my, you know, run-ins with Trumpers at gay bars, there's a specific subset of people.
Wait, you're gay?
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Ew.
Yeah, they might come for me now. There's a specific subset of people that have a party once a month at Partners. And there's a large subset of that group that are Trumpers.
I know what group you're talking about.
And they're all about trucks and big trucks and fuck electric cars. And I've had this conversation with them.
But they put on dresses.
But they put on dresses. And I'm like, really? I just,
Yep,
I don't.
I don't get it either.
I don't. And I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Well, do you want to hear some lighter news, though?
I thought we were in lighter news like 2 minutes ago. What happened?
We just like diverted.
Yeah, no, which we usually do. We're very good at that.
Yeah, the ADD is like on point today.
Yes, it is.
So remember when I was talking about that bill at the state of Connecticut? So we're starting to see blue states make statements in different ways, right?
Right.
And push back on the federal government in different ways. And I'm really proud of Connecticut right now. As you know, I am the president of the New Haven Pride Center. And this week, on Tuesday, I believe, the governor signed into law this bill that is providing $3 million to local nonprofits facing the loss of federal funding. This includes Connecticut Institute for Refugees and Immigrants, which is IRIS, which was closing and is probably still going to close because of the amount of money they lost. But they are working with the state in different ways to still provide trainings and services that are required to different populations of refugees in different cities, especially like New Haven, we're a sanctuary city.
I was on that note on Iris. There was a news broadcast that I was watching that mentioned something about like their operating costs is like something close to like 100 million.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, I mean, the amount of people that they're bringing in, seeking asylum and refugees, but they're not just bringing them here, they're bringing them here the right way, and they're providing them trainings, they're providing them a community, they're providing them housing, they're providing them pathways to get a job. And on top of that, you know, in the first certain amount of time when they first get here, before they're actually, you know, building up their bank accounts so that they can actually survive, they're providing them basic needs and groceries. So they're doing it right. And I said it a couple of weeks ago, right? I said the fact that, like, why are we not working with organizations like this to reform immigration? I believe that immigration needs to be reformed.
They don't want to.
I know, they just want to ship everybody the fuck out.
Right.
But I mean,
You know.
but like, even like, you know, a Democratic administration, like, realize how useful an organization like IRIS is, partner with them, and really take a deep dive on immigration reform. Look at what they're doing. It's successful. It's working. These people become taxpayers and successful members of
here's the thing.
The community.
I agree, right? IRIS is doing great work, and they become successful members of our communities and pay taxes. But even those individuals that are undocumented workers, the majority of them are working under, you know, documentation from someone else, right? They're working on
but IRIS
and
also
they
provides
pay taxes,
right. But also IRIS they're providing pathways and like planned out pathways that work to citizenship.
right?
It's not just like, good luck, get a green card or you're fucked.
Yeah, it's interesting to me though, like, you know, all of a sudden, like, I'm thinking the cat population and dog population in Springfield, Ohio must be like booming right now because like I don't hear anything about people eating cats and dogs anymore.
Well,
you know,
It's I tell you, holy shit.
anyway.
The way this administration is going about their way of running things, I mean, even right now, you know, the Mohammed Khalil, the Palestinian activist who's currently facing the deportation. He was part of the Columbia University. He's a Columbian University graduate who played a key role in the protest over Gaza. And Trump had him arrested and is currently awaiting deportation.
Right.
Because of he
was a legal resident. He was
a legal resident.
Oh, yeah. I heard about this.
So
like that's
and this fucking
and a judge has ordered him released.
Released, but
they're
he said there's
anyway.
but they're saying there's many more to come. So basically, he's violating people's rights.
Right.
You know,
First Amendment rights.
Their First Amendment rights to, you know, hold peaceful protests.
Right.
You know, basically telling people, you know, if you speak out against us and you hold a rally and you're part of this, we're gonna deport you.
Yeah, it's
be
it's
careful.
Hitler,
We might be on the
2.0.
list next.
Oh, I know we're on the list.
All three of us are on the
Are
list.
you kidding me?
Trish, where are they gonna deport you to?
I don't know.
I hope it's somewhere warm.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, she's with the Ricans. Send them all.
They're not
Deport
gonna
them all.
no, they're
Deport
probably
them all.
gonna send me somewhere fucking cold.
So,
No, you'll probably end up in Puerto Rico with us by de facto. Because, I mean, you know, you're practically a Puerto Rican at this point.
I was literally saying that to my coworker today. She was like, "Nick, you can't say that." I was like, "No, but I can."
but I can.
Like, I literally can.
Yeah, play this clip back to her later.
Yeah.
She was the one that I said, "Honey, the B is silent."
The B is silent today.
The B is silent for...
My coworker is by. I got to get back to the story in a second, but my coworker is by, and today she was like on something. She was like literally going through it, and I was like, I just looked at her. I was like, "The B is silent today, okay?" And she was like, "How dare you?" And I looked at her and I was like, well, I'm a mean gay. And she was like, I know you're a mean gay.
Yeah, but I'm a fabulously looking mean gay
She
now.
calls me a mean gay. I was like, I'm not a mean gay. Was I a mean gay in high school? Yes.
Yes.
But you had to be, because you had to survive.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you had to go and play football and show these fuckers that you can tackle a motherfucker down to the ground.
And
Don't
then
fuck
I'm like,
with me.
I get up top
And
and,
then
I'm
she
like,
would
hey,
plie.
honey.
Yeah. Then she would plie when she scored a touchdown.
Hello?
I wouldn't plie. I was
Oh,
the
the center.
center. I had the quarterback
Oh,
underneath my crotch, okay?
Oh boy!
Oh.
Of course she's a center.
Oh. I thought, I mean,
I
you
had
would have been a
good-looking
wide end
quarterbacks,
or a
too.
tight receiver, but
tight receiver. No, never tight.
A tight receiver.
yeah, tight
Wide
end.
receiver.
Tight end.
Wide receiver and a
Wide
tight end.
You're a wide receiver. Definitely
honey.
not a tight
Tight
end.
end.
I'm a lot of receivers.
But all right, to wrap up this story. So the state of Connecticut also awarded $225,000 to the New Haven Pride Center, which is game changing for the center, and it will really help us now that it's announced through a transition as we look for a new executive director. As the current executive director has taken made a choice to step down for personal reasons. Yeah.
Oh well, he will be missed. He's beautiful.
Oh, God,
oh my God, he's such a sweetheart.
He took the center in a moment of crisis and brought it with such like grace, brought it really back to the community,
Right.
helped stabilize the organization, and really over the past couple of years has helped to
Transform.
especially with the staff, like helped really heal from trauma.
Right.
And now we're looking to the future, and this is actually an exciting moment because we can find somebody and bring them in that can really bring the center to the next level. Really, you know, financial solvency. Also, like just kind of like really put together a strong strategic plan and move the center in the right direction. I mean, we're for the community, we're in the community, but now let's make sure that we continue that work and we don't stray from it, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so we're excited. We're actually, I mean, you know, in that moment of crisis, we kind of appointed an interim who then became the ED, and now we're going to do a search, and we're excited to see what that search, you know, brings us.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sad, you know, to see him go, because he's a beautiful person, and you know, the center in itself. I mean, going from the space where it used to be and ending up in the space that it is today. I mean, talk about visibility. It's right in the heart of 9th Square, and the space and what they have done with that space is just absolutely beautiful, and it's tasteful. It's you know, people walk by and it draws you in. Like, you want to go in and be a part of, you know, this amazing, colorful, beautiful space full of people that are just absolutely amazing and doing great work for our community, which is important now more than ever.
Yeah, and you know what's
Absolutely.
really exciting? I was having a conversation with somebody about this today. You know, I've been on the board for I don't even know how many years now, but as co-chair of the board now, over the past couple of years, the support and buy-in from the city of New Haven, especially when we made that move and became more visible and started really expanding programming, the support from the city, like seeing the mayor at the Pride Center giving a press conference, like it was just like
That was huge.
Yeah, it's
We played a clip of that here.
yeah. It's just I'm really proud of all the work that JC and his team has done, and it's just great to see an organization come back to its roots and really support a community in need, especially in this moment. And I said actually in an interview, I was interviewed when the announcement came out, and I said, you know, in this moment in time, we're not going to rush any decisions when it comes to an ED. We have to be very intentional about who we pick, especially given our political climate and what's going on in the world.
Right.
And we are going to take our time, be intentional, and make sure it's the right person and the right fit for the organization.
And especially now, you know, like I can't tell you story after story. I keep reading, you know, the attacks on our trans brothers and sisters.
Oh my God.
Right. You know, how state after state is just going for the jugular. I mean, you have an active representative of Congress right now sitting. She was a duly elected
this bitch.
representative of
Not
Congress.
the bitch. The other bitch.
The other bitch, right.
Yeah.
So we have a duly elected representative of Congress. Her name is Sarah oh God, Brightman?
I don't know, girl. You pulled up the story.
Sarah McBride.
Sarah McBride. Thank you. So she's a transgender woman, was duly elected by the people of Delaware. She was in a committee, and
The chair, Keith Self.
the chair itself, the chair of that committee, addressed Miss
Sarah McBride.
McBride
As Mr. McBride.
as Mr. McBride. We have a clip of it. Let's listen to it, and then we'll talk about it on the other end of this.
As the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply,
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman?
Whatever you
Would you
want,
repeat
whatever
what
you
you just said
want.
when you introduced a duly
Okay,
elected
whatever.
representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I mean, I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You
hearing.
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
I was floored when I saw this interaction. And, first and foremost, Sarah McBride's reaction to the whole thing, right? You can see her on the camera. There's a video clip. We can post it on tonight's episode if you'd like to watch it. But, the chairman literally says, Mr. McBride, and she just looks, she goes, "Ah." And then she goes like, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
Like gave it right back to him.
Touche.
And, her fellow Democrats stepped in and said, no, we're not going to do this. So, they came up with rules in the House that members of Congress are to be addressed by their dead names, by the names that they were given at birth, based on the sex that they were, born with. And this is obviously, the Speaker of the House gets to make the rules. The ruling party
And
gets
by
to
what their gender was on their birth certificate.
right, and so that's why he addressed her as Mr. McBride. And the other, congressman was like, "Oh no, we're not going to do this. You're gonna respect this woman.
Yeah.
She's a duly elected member for the people of Delaware. You will address her correctly."
Yeah.
And-
so William Keating from Massachusetts, Representative William Keating, the top Democrat on the subcommittee, stepped in. So that is who you heard pushing back.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you had Representative Keith Self from Texas
Of course.
doing and misgendering Representative Sarah McBride.
And to me, I'm just like, wow. I'm just like,
And I say that specifically for any Texas listeners. Call
right.
your representatives because that's bullshit.
And it's
Yeah.
unacceptable. And let them know how you feel.
And she has been repeatedly misgendered on the House floor by Republicans, even targeted with a bill.
Yeah, they targeted
Which
a
is
bill
what-
that
yeah.
would not allow her to use the bathroom, by which she would want to use based on who she is as a human.
Yeah, and the bill was introduced by Nancy Mace of South Carolina.
Of course.
Yeah,
Again, those states south of that Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if you want to call Representative Keith Self's office in Washington, D.C., 202-225-4201. We could call him right now, actually.
Right. Can we?
I don't know. Do you have the phone hooked
The
up?
phone is all the way upstairs.
We
I left
can't.
it. Yeah.
can't.
So it's just it's really disrespectful, and I'm very fearful right now. Even some of the things that are happening in our military.
But it does give me hope, the way that it was handled.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
But the chair, like he's like, oh fuck, I this is not something I'm gonna win, and it's on camera. He just literally adjourned the meeting. He's like, I gotta get out of here
yeah,
Yeah,
because he knew it was gonna get ugly and quick.
yeah.
absolutely. And you gotta see all these cuts that they're doing. You know how many veterans they just military men, which men, women, transgender men, women, that they've basically lost employment. And you're talking about people that were promised to be taken care of for serving their country. you know, that's gonna lead to greater things down the road.
Yeah,
You know,
and you know, and this comes at a time where news article after news article, and especially in southern states, you're seeing trans women murdered, trans people murdered, right? You know, there was a woman that was murdered not too long ago. Um, let me find the story here.
You are not.
wasn't there recently
Why is nobody ready?
There was a kid who identified as transgender, that was tortured. They tortured a trans man, right? You know, it's so bad that even Vivian Wilson, which is Elon Musk's trans daughter, is coming out and like speaking against her father, speaking against the administration, and really holding them to fire. And you know, like she's like, "Fuck you, Christian writers." You know, writing an op-ed about trans people and how they shouldn't have a right to exist. And we know that that's what they want, and it's just scary. It's scary that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're straight, if you're gay, if you're bi, if you're green, blue, purple, you're a human fucking being, and people are actively fighting to suppress your right to exist in whatever form you choose to exist. You're human.
absolutely.
And we as a people, why are we allowing this? You know, and then it's scary. It's scary. And all I can say is it's like, listen, there was an activist who was around the time of Harvey Milk and obviously Stonewall that said, you know, our generation stepped up to the plate and did what we needed to do. We got arrested. We fought the good fight. And he literally came out and said, I feel like this young generation is literally watching their rights being erased right in front of their faces, and they're not doing anything about it.
Yep.
They're just staying in the sidelines like this has nothing to do with them. And I have, you know, newsflash for all you people. If it's happening to our trans brothers and sisters, it is going to happen to us.
There is an article that was published by The Advocate. So we had talked about the federal mandate of moving trans women into men's prison, vice versa.
Right.
There was a judge's ruling to stop that from happening. So basically, right now, there are 12 individuals that are included in that ruling. But outside of that, in some cases, the Bureau of Prisons is continuing the practice that was given to them by the federal government, and trans women are being put in
Yeah, they're still
prison.
doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. It really is. And I feel like, when do we get to that point in where we start realizing it's not just trans people? They're coming for the entire community, and we're literally, I mean, we sit here and we talk about things and bring awareness on all of these things that are happening, but I watch some of this youth, they don't care. They really don't. It's scary.
Some of the youth?
Yeah, some of the young folks, you know, people in their late 20s, people in their 30s, you know, specifically white cisgender gay men, they don't care. It's not about me. I'll be fine. But, you know, people are suffering, and they're going to come for us, for all of us. And
It's
marriage
happening.
equality is next.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just recently, March 4th, there was a double murder of a gay couple in Buffalo, New York.
Look at that.
And, you know, and
In
the
a blue
police,
state.
Yeah, in a blue state. And they're claiming that it was not a hate crime, but come on, gay couple.
Right.
You know, murdered in their home, and they were well known in their community, activists, artists.
Yeah.
You know, well known within their community, active, responsible community members. You know, and it's sad, and you know the police weren't really doing much until the community got behind this whole thing and started pushing them to investigate. Finally, the individual has been arrested. He's being charged for murder. But it's still not being classified as a hate crime, you know, and the community is pushing for that. we're being attacked in
And
every which way.
Every which way.
And they're trying to diminish how those crimes happen.
So we had, I think it was at one point in time, we were up to like 27 states that banned conversion therapy.
Yep.
There's a lawsuit which is at the Supreme Court right now that will decide whether or not a conversion therapy will be considered illegal. Whether states can actually offer conversion therapy as a therapy to make you ungay. It's scary. We're living in scary times. So, does anybody have anything else they would like to share for today?
Not really. I mean, I'm sure I'll come up with something at some point.
All right. Well, then we shall bring it home. Why don't I toss it over to you, Trish? You ready for your moment?
No, not yet. All right, everybody. Get the future method and all other No, I'm skipping ahead. Where am I?
Way ahead.
Whoa, here we
Mama
go. All right,
Kim's.
everybody. Here's Mama Kim's minute. See, I was not ready, and you just fucking pressed the button. Press it again. Hard reset.
Don't
All right,
fuck it up.
everybody. Here's Mama Kim's minute. Number 1, Trump admin mocked for purging picture of historical important airplane with gay name. That was tough.
Yeah.
Number 2, 5 movies about queer families to lift you up and give you all the feels. Number 3, the single gay dad invited his surrogate to live with him during her pregnancy.
Yas, queen.
Awesome. Alrighty. Moving on to this day in gay history, March 12th, 1976, in LA, California. At a campaign stop in Los Angeles, Democratic presidential candidate Jimmy Carter tells an audience that if elected, he would be willing to issue an executive order banning discrimination against gay people in housing, employment, immigration, and military.
Imagine that. Back in 1976.
76.
I wasn't even close to born yet.
I think you weren't even a sperm yet.
Maybe.
probably
She was
not.
probably swimming around down there
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, she was a leftover
She
sperm.
was left.
Extra.
Alrighty, moving on. If you love the show,
Wait.
please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcasting service. By subscribing, you get the latest and greatest of our show delivered right to your favorite device or web browser as soon as the episode is published. You can also support us on Patreon. With Patreon, you, our listeners, can help to support the show with a pledged donation. The donations are collected monthly and can be in any denomination of $1 or more.
Yas, queen.
Next week, we don't have a guest.
Big surprise. I'm not doing my job.
Yeah, I know. She's fired. I'm kidding. Do you want your love?
Yes.
Do I have to?
Yes.
All right, everybody. Get the future method and all other products today. All products are doctor developed, can clean out without hurting your bum. Take confidence anywhere with the anal powder packs and increase your stretch goals with the 3-piece anal glass dilation kit. Let me tell you, it works. And get all the information you need with Dr. G's book, But Seriously. Visit futuremethod.com to purchase your life-changing bum accessory today.
I was just about to ask you. You got all 3 sizes. How's that working out for you?
They're all falling out.
I'm shrinking. It's not.
Well, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. Okay, it is time to put a ring on it and
Ring, ring.
ring, ring. Our show is available on our website, gaytalk20.com, under audio podcast. It is also available as a free download on Apple Podcast, YouTube Music, and Stitcher Radio.
All right, you can find us on social media, Facebook, GayTalk 2.0, Instagram, GayTalk 2.0. You can email us at gaytalk2.0 at gaytalk20.com. Tom, don't fuck it up.
I'll try not to. Ladies and gents, if you need to reach out to us, just head on over to our website, click on the Contact Us tab, which is located at the top of your web browser. There you can leave comments, suggest topics, submit a question for the cast, or an individual host. You can also call us and leave us any questions you may have on voicemail. We can answer those for you here on the show. Our phone number is 334-GAY-TALK, and if you need all of the digits, it is 334-429-8255. Don't forget, we are streaming live for all of our Patreon supporters on our video show on YouTube the day of recording. With that, ladies and gents, that is our show. Thank you, and y'all have a good night. Bye!
Thank you for listening to this episode of Gay Talk 2.0. Tune in next time for more dish.